Hey everybody, it's Tao at the Forge, and I'm here to help you guys win the College Cup again with Dina the Soul Steeper. So Dina is a 1 green, 1 black. For whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Alright, so she's kind of like a pinger with lifelink. Great. So for 1 mana, so you can sacrifice another creature. Dina Soul Steeper gets +X/+O until end of turn, where X is the sacrificed creature's power. This could be a good finisher, but that's not really how the deck is built. Okay, so part of this College Cup is that you have to choose a commander that's in Strixhaven. Right. So I was looking through them, and really, there's not a lot of great commanders that I saw anyways. Like, some of them are okay, but I like her, because the deck is easy to play and she's cheap. So it sounds bad when you have someone that's cheap and easy, but this one is actually a good card. The commander's inexpensive and it's easy to play. All right, so we've got Bloodchief Thirst, which is just removal. Okay, we got Cauldron Familiar. Now, Cauldron Familiar and Witch's Oven are a great pairing, right? Because whenever Cauldron Familiar comes into the battlefield, your target opponent loses life, and then you gain a life. But then Dina will also, every time you gain a life, your opponent loses a life, right? So this is going to ping them for 1, and then Dina will also react and ping them for 1 as well, right? And then you can and Cauldron Familiar is just a great blocker. It's really hard to get rid of because you can keep flipping it in and out of the graveyard and so on and so forth. So this is actually a great combo to have, and it synergizes really well. I have not actually pulled this off yet, had them both in because I actually won without it in both of my test matches. All right, we've got Professor's Warning. So we want ways to protect our creatures and to also protect Dina. So Professor's Warning is a 1 mana instant, and basically we can use it to put a 1/1 counter on a target creature, but mainly we want to give Dina indestructible, if possible, and use her as a blocker or something like that, because your opponent is going to try and remove her or try and remove some of your other stuff, and this way we can give them indestructible and keep them in the game. Same thing with Snakeskin Veil. Okay, so basically it's the black version of Professor's Warning, but this one, okay, so Professor's Warning is you can choose one. You can get the counter or indestructible. This one is you get the counter and they also gain hexproof. Right, so it's kind of a better version of Professor's Warning, but it's in green, and luckily we're playing green. All right, I already talked about Witch's Oven. Okay, so we got Blacklance Paragon. Blacklance Paragon is just a knight. Okay, so the reason why I like it is because it's a form of removal, because if you flash it in, you can give it Death Touch and use it for removal. If you don't want to do that, then you can flash it in and give it lifelink, right? Or give another knight lifelink or whatever, right? So there's different ways you can use it. Usually you're going to use this as a form of removal, right? Especially, like, let's say for instance they swing in with, I don't know, like a 4/3 or something. You could flash it in. It doesn't need Death Touch, so you can give it lifelink, and then that's going to trigger Dina as well. Okay, we've got Eliminate, so destroy target creature or planeswalker with mana value 3 or less, so it's just removal. Okay, Eternal Thirst. So this one I kind of debated a lot about. I wasn't sure, but this is actually an okay card. So you get to enchant a creature. The creature has lifelink, which synergizes well with Dina. And then a creature an opponent controls, whenever a creature your opponent controls dies, you put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. And that can actually be super, super powerful because we got just a ton of removal. Okay, we got other forms of removal. We got Heartless Act and Mire's Grasp. Okay, just different ways of removing things. Sanctum of Stone Fangs is a great way, again, to start pinging things. Right, so you get this down. Now, we only have 1 shrine. Okay, but each opponent is going to lose X life. You gain X life, where X is the number of shrines you control. That's going to be just 1, right? But again, your opponent loses a life, we gain a life, and then Dina causes them to lose another life. So we're just pinging them down. Okay, we got Unlikely Aid. So target creature gets +2/+0, gains indestructible. Okay, so again, it's a way of protecting Dina. We got Wishclaw Talisman. Now, the reason why I put Wishclaw Talisman in is so that we can get our Cauldron Familiar Witch's Oven combo. Right, so like basically you're gonna remove the wish counter, and you're gonna go get Cauldron Familiar, and then you're gonna remove it again when you get it back and get Witch's Oven, right? And that's actually pretty good. Or you can go Witch's Oven first. That's probably what I would do, and then go get the Cauldron Familiar afterwards. Okay, we got Heroic Intervention, basically another way of protecting one of your creatures. A huge one here, Scavenging Ooze. Okay, so it's one of the few green creatures we have in the deck, but Scavenging Ooze is going to be able to exile creature cards from your opponent's library, or just exile cards in general, but primarily creature cards that we want. And then if it's a creature card, you get a +1/+1 counter on the Ooze, but you also gain a life. Right, it's another great synergy. Here we got Arcane Signet. It's just a little bit of mana ramp. Funeral Rites. I wasn't too sure about this one, but originally I had Raven's Crime in here to just to ping people more if they attacked us. But I found that when I had it in game one, I felt really I wasn't really happy with having it. I would rather have the card draw than have just another pinger. And because we're gaining life a lot, losing 2 life to get 2 cards is not a big deal, and milling 2 cards isn't a big deal. So I thought that playing Funeral Rites was actually a pretty decent one. Okay, we got Marauding Blight-Priest. So whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Right, so basically this is just another version of Dina, the Soul Steeper. Okay, Pharika's Libation. I put this in because this is one of the only ways that black can get rid of enchantments. Okay, and it's also a good way to get rid of things like indestructible creatures and stuff like that as well, right? So this is just another decent form of removal. We got Murderer and Murderous Rider, also good forms of removal. Okay, but also the Murderous Rider has lifelink, which synergizes well later. Okay, we got Nighthawk Scavenger, 1 and 2 black for a flying Death Touch lifelink. This thing can be ridiculous. Its power is 1 plus the number of card types among cards in your opponent's graveyard. Like, this can be, really devastating. Okay, we got Blood Researcher. I think I got Blood Researcher up to like 5/5 or 6/6. Right, just because whenever you gain life, you put a +1/+1 counter, and you're gaining so much life, and it has menace, so it can't be blocked or not blocked easily. Right, so this one is actually a really good card in this deck. Okay, Agadeem's Awakening, I put in there. Like, these dual modal cards are pretty good. I haven't had a chance to use it because mainly I was able to just aggro out my opponents in both matches, so I haven't ever had to kind of return anything to the battlefield. But I thought, return anything to the battlefield. But I thought it actually is, it's good there, just kind of an oh crap card. Right, so then we got, in the 4 mana slots, we've got Dogged Pursuit. Beginning of your end step, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So again, opponents losing a life, you gain a life, Dina causes them to lose another life. Okay, Extinction Event, just another form of a quasi board wipe, I suppose. Bake into a pie. We didn't really have much else in the form of removal, so I also took that. Eradicator Valkyrie. So this is a flying lifelinker again, so that's helpful. It's both, so you can sacrifice a creature, each opponent sacrifices a creature. So if you have a creature that you don't really need, like let's say, I don't know, you play down Blacklance Paragon, you attack with it for a bit or whatever, and then you don't need it again later, then you can use Eradicator Valkyrie, sacrifice one of your creatures that's not really be able to get through, and then your opponent has to give up one of their creatures. Okay, Binding of the Old Gods. This is a gem. This is actually a really great card. So destroy target non-land permanent. That's any permanent that's not a land. Okay, and then you get to search your library for a forest card, and then creatures you control gain Death Touch. Don't really care too much about the Death Touch, but it's nice to be able to get a forest and also to be able to destroy any non-land permanent. Right, so we got more Mortality Spear. Okay, 2 less to cast if you gain life this turn. We gain life almost every turn, so you can just destroy another non-land permanent. This one we got Daemogoth Woe Eater. So at the beginning of your upkeep, you sacrifice a creature. Now, if you've got a creature to sacrifice, then sure. But even if you have to sacrifice this one, right, then each opponent discards a card, you draw a card, and you gain 2 life. Right, now there's also a synergy with this. Okay, so you gain 2 life, which also pings your opponent. Right, they have to discard a card, you draw a card, everything's good, everyone's happy there. But it does synergize well with Deathless Night. Okay, so let's say, for instance, you have Deathless Night and then you get Daemogoth Woe Eater. Right, well, let's say you sacrifice the Deathless Night at the beginning of your turn. Right, so at the beginning of your upkeep, you sacrifice the Deathless Night. Okay, when you gain life, well, you gained life right there, so then you can return Deathless Night back to your hand, and then you can just cast it again. Right, and Deathless Night has haste, so it can swing in again, doesn't matter. Right, so like that's actually pretty sweet. It's a neat little synergy. I also decided to put Nyx Lotus in there. This one, again, I'm not too sure about, but because we're mainly mono black and just splashing green, if we chose black, right, then we're going to have a ton of devotion to black, and so we could eventually get like, you know, like this thing could tap for like 6, 8, 10 mana. So this could actually be very, very strong. Right? Although the games have never really gone that long so far. Okay, we got Gary, Merchant of Asphadel, right? So everyone knows Gary. Okay, he's just a great card to kind of a great finisher, and it also gains life for you, right? So it helps you to ping, but also like is a good way of just getting your opponent down. Okay, we got Cyan of the Swarm, so another flying 3/3, but whenever you gain life, you put a +1/+1 counter on it, so it's evasive, and you can also, like I said, you're going to gain life all the time in this deck. Twin Blade Assassins, at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, you draw a card. Okay, creature's going to die a lot, and so you getting card draw is actually really good. Okay, and for our land package, we got Castle Locthwain, we got a bunch of swamps, 5 forests, a Witch's Cottage, right, Darkboar Pathway, Jungle Hollow, basically all the dual lands, and yeah, Command Tower, Fabled Passage, Faceless Haven. Faceless Haven is actually that's not the one. It's Woodland Chasm. Woodland Chasm is actually pretty good to have because it is a swamp and a forest, and because it's a forest, you can actually go and get it with Binding of the Old Gods. Right, and so like when you search for a forest, you can actually go get Woodland Chasm. So anyways, that is the deck. So far I've had actually, you know, fairly good success with it. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you are successful with it. You know, I'm like I said, in my first match I played, I was able to out aggro my opponent, and then they end up roping me for a long time and basically just won that way. In the second match, again, the opponent came pretty heavy in the beginning of the match, but they weren't able to actually their deck didn't have any staying power, and so then I was able to kind of beat them in the mid game, right? And yeah, but I still came out with, I'd say, a fairly handy victory there, right? Anyways, that's it for the decks. You know, let me know and see if you guys have any success with this one. Dina Soul Steeper is a fun commander to play, you know, in Brawl, if you like Brawl. So anyways, good luck with that, and remember to like and subscribe, give me a comment, and share the video. Everything helps the channel for free, right? And yeah, good luck in the College Cup. Hey everybody, we're going to go see what we can do with our Brawl deck. So what we have here is I've already played one match and I won. It was okay. I changed out Revenge of Ravens and I switched it in for a card draw card. And so let's see how that's going to work. I feel like the deck is actually pretty strong, but it could use some card draw. We got a good amount of removal, and in the last match my opponent just got frustrated and kind of scooped and actually roped me. So too bad I didn't have that one saved, but it was just okay. Alright, let's give this a try. Oh, we got some removal, more removal, and a menace whenever you gain life. Alright, so this could be good. We'll keep this. Alright, so it looks like I need double black. Oh, we got Temple here, so let's Temple and Malady. Okay, this looks good. Okay, so a Flying Lifelinker with Hexproof from Planeswalker. Alright, so get our opponent to sacrifice some creatures. I can Heartless Act this bastard. Okay, so let's see what our opponent does to it. Oh no, we should do it right now, because it's not when they resolve a spell, it's when they cast a spell. So we need to get rid of that guy right away. Alright. Yeah, okay, so they're playing a +1/+1 counters type deck. Alright, let's see what we have here. I need double. I have the double black. So, do I care about this? Maybe the target of a spell, sacrifice it. When it dies, then you'll learn. Do I actually care about that? Or should I just play my... Or should I just leave up because my opponent's not going to play their commander next turn yet. I could play Blood Researcher and then go with the Eradicator Valkyrie next turn. Yeah, let's do that. Or I guess I could use Binding of the Old Gods and put that down, and then hold up Murderous Rider on the next turn. Alright, so Wanderer's Cultivator, sure. For a basic forest or island card, put onto the battlefield and shuffle, sure. Alright, so our opponent's going to play their commander next turn, probably. Alright. I think that we should be still okay. Let's go play this, and... do we just hold up? And just about don't learn plus one counter target you control. They don't have any counters on anything. The base power toughness of the creature become equal to attention power. Alright, well, I say we actually play the Eradicator Valkyrie right now. Alright, so let's go get some black. Okay, so do we play the Eradicator Valkyrie or do we play Binding of the Old Gods? I think we play Eradicator Valkyrie right now. Okay, so no attacks. Okay. Now, we might take a little bit of damage from my opponent's stuff, but I'm not too worried about it because we have a lot of lifelink stuff. Like, we can just get rid of our opponents. Like, you know, we can just take some damage and later on we'll get stuff back. So I don't think that's going to be the end of the world. It could be, though. You never know. I'm going to take 6 here, which is a lot. Our opponent, do they have some removal? Oh, yeah, okay. So now they're going to put some counters on target creature. Sure. All right, that kind of makes sense to do. No blocks. That's okay. I'll use Binding of the Old Gods on them next turn. Yeah, I don't care about that. Okay, so let's go Binding of the Old Gods, and we don't want them to get any counters, because otherwise they're going to just double all their counters. Okay, we'll play that tapped land. No attacks. Okay, our opponent's going to play their Dream Strix. No. Oh, what is this? Oh, okay. Sure, sure. Oh, interesting. Putting 2 of them on. Wow, that's actually pretty powerful. Alright, we gotta get rid of that eventually, but I think I'll play Eradicator Valkyrie next to do that. Okay, to just keep blocking that. Alright, we need to kind of stabilize and get our board state going. Another land is okay. Not super helpful, but it's okay. Let's go get this Woodland Chasm. Sure. Play the Swamp. Play the Eradicator Valkyrie. And let's throw out our commander too. Okay. Alright, so we still got Murderous Rider. Right up, and no attacks. Alright, so let's see what our opponent's going to do here. They don't have any counters to double, so if they play their commander right now, it's kind of useless because they're not going to double anything. What is this? Do you just gain control? Alright, well, whatever. It's not the end of the world for me either. Dina Soul Steeper is not really the main way that we're going to win here. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, nothing. Alright. Creatures you control gain death touch till end of turn. Sure. Let's go... Yeah, I'm gonna go swing in, get some life back. Oh, and actually, yeah, let's swing in. See what our opponent does. If they block with their Dream Strix, I'll just kill it with Murderous Rider. Okay, and do I just take it? Yeah, I say I do take it. I should actually just hold up my Murderous Rider, but I still get my 4 life for it. Okay, that's fine. Resolve. I'm gonna go play Deathless Knight. Okay, and that can hold up Murderous Rider, so if my opponent ends up playing playing his commander, I can just kill it right away. Right, so there's Quandrix. He's got no counter, so it doesn't double anything. Yeah, doubling 0 does nothing. Alright, so... Oh yeah, whatever. Okay. Sure. And we will just go and Murderous Rider that bastard. Okay, yep. Okay, then I'll put my Murderous Rider down next turn. Alright, whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and gain life, and they just need a way to gain life. Okay, so let's go Murderous Rider. And we'll put in this Marauding Blight-Priest. And I think we're going to just swing in. If our opponent trades in that, we're okay with that. Okay, so all attack. Because I can gain life and get that Deathless Knight back. So, no blocks. Okay. End turn. Okay, our opponent still doesn't have any way of... What is this? Switch your library to 4 basic land cards to reveal them. Wow, okay. That's actually a pretty decent card. Alright, so Commander's coming down next turn, probably. Almost certainly. Okay. Hopefully we draw some removal here. Wow, they've got all the lands going. Still, given that they don't have any counts or... Other creatures you control become equal to towns. Oh, interesting. Okay, well this is going to be decent. And we can instant speed this one. So let's just see what happens. So let's go... Yeah, let's just swing with everything. Okay, so we're going to 3 block there. Nope. What are they going to block? Okay, so kill my commander. No, if they kill my commander, I'll just cast it back again. Okay, so blocking a lot of stuff. Sure. What are they going to do? Okay, I still get lifelink. Yep. So I gain life, opponent loses life. Sure, and then I'm going to hold up this Libation in case my opponent puts down some enchantment or something like that. Right? Because if I choose to sack a creature, they're just going to sacrifice an excavated wall or something like that. Alright, draw a card. Sure. Oh, interesting. Well, I guess they can still play their commander down, but they still don't have any counters to put down, so... Sure. Okay. So I'm swinging for lethal next turn. Okay, our opponent... Yeah, okay, whatever. So I'm swinging lethal... No, almost lethal. No, exactly lethal next turn. So our opponent's going to need to block a lot. Okay, so my turn, I'm going to get some damage here. Yep. Okay, so I get a 5/5. Opponent gets down. Oh, yeah, this could be really good too. Alright, let's swing in. See what happens. I don't mind losing any of these creatures, so... Okay, opponent's going to have to sack some creatures here. Brawl's just super stressful, I find. Alright, so they're going to lose some creatures. Okay. Now, if they play their commander down, I don't think that really makes any difference at all. Sure. Draw 2 cards. That's pretty decent. Take action. Yes, I want my commander. And Twin Blade Assassins. And Soul Steeper. Oh, I cannot cast her yet. Alright. We will just leave the Libation down. Okay, again, see what happens. Oh. Oh, that's not so great for me now, but that's okay. Draw a card. Just looking for answers. They're looking for... I don't even know what they're looking for. Board sweep, maybe? Equal to the toughness tag against travel. Okay. Sweet! Alright, well, 2 for 2. Take it, 2 for 2. I actually is a little bit worried because, you know, like, this deck is sort of a mid-range deck, so if our opponents come out quick, like, it's a little bit difficult to stabilize, but I think I've actually got the stabilization happening here. This Sanctum of Stone Fangs is going to be like a good pinger on our opponents, so ping them down and give us life, and, you know, then every time we get life, we can cast this... Deathless Knight back to put it back into the hand, right? And then cast it again. Same thing with this Blood Researcher. You know, starts off as like a 2/2, but now it's like a 6/6 with Menace, right? The Murderous Rider is another lifelinker. So everything's actually kind of working together really well, right? And then here, like if my creatures died, well, okay, well, I can just draw a card then, right? So yeah, it's actually worked out pretty well. All right, well, anyways, we're going to stop here for now. I'll come back and see if I can win another match later.